Well, it'll come to the surprise of absolutely no one that a bunch of rich musicians and artists billed the American taxpayers for things like luxury hotels, shopping sprees, a bunch of lavish personal expenses, designer products, and all these things through COVID relief funds and PPP loans and things of that nature. So let's get into this article from Business Insider. It says, many musicians struggled during the pandemic. Lil Wayne was not one of them. He sold master recordings from his record label's artists for more than $100 million. He was pardoned for felony gun possession in a last-minute action by then President Donald Trump. That's so on brand. He purchased a $15.4 million mansion in the mountains of Los Angeles. And as a Business Insider investigation found, he received an $8.9 million grant from a little-known pandemic relief program that he used to cover more than 2 years' worth of spending on luxury hotel stays, designer clothes, and travel to and from nightclub appearances around the country. So again, this goes on, gives details, things of him purchasing things of high-end brands like Gucci, and I can never even say this one, Balenciaga, is that how you say that? I'm poor, I'll never own this stuff. He billed taxpayers for over $175,000 for expenses related to a music festival promoting his marijuana brand and clothing for artists associated with his record label. This goes on, it continues and goes through that Lil Wayne spent a bunch of his grant money on everything for debt owed to managers, to private jets, to clothes, contractors who worked on his shows, mystery women, there's 14.9K in there, just an overall insurmountable amount of money spent here. But he is not the only person that has done this in the music world. This is just the latest reporting. You know, go next to the absolutely loved and totally not problematic artist Chris Brown, who is most well known for beating the shit out of women. He ended up spending on the same program over $10 million. $10 million. And of that $10 million that went to his company, $5.1 million went to Chris Brown. Personally, he spent most of that money on himself, insurance, his manager, lawyers, a celebrity basketball tournament, and his birthday party. His birthday party cost the taxpayers $79.2 thousand. This goes on. I believe Deadmau5 is also someone that took a lot of this money as well. This article is extremely detailed on all these different things. I'll share it below. That you can also just look up the Business Insider Lil Wayne report. You'll find it there. But God, how many times did we hear about this? We heard about PPP loans from politicians getting those paid back. You know, 6 figures. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think, got like $176,000 paid back by the taxpayer during COVID, and all these different things. And yet, we always circle back to people blaming, you know, ripple effects to the economy. You know, a couple of checks written to everyday people, you know, $1,200 paid during the Trump administration, you know, then there was a $600 payment, and then a $1,400 payment under the Democrats. And people pretended like that was the reason that there was inflation and all this kind of stuff. And to be clear, I don't necessarily think any of this really plays a part in inflation. I think that's mostly corporate greed. There's also at one point, you know, supply chain issues, although that's mostly all mitigated and gone, and it's just sort of like the rippling effects of just lack of meaningful regulation on a lot of products and services. But this is absolutely on par for America. We just throw a bunch of money at a bunch of people that are already massively wealthy during a world crisis, and they spend it on like private jets promoting their marijuana business, their own birthday party, and paying off their personal debts, none of which was exacerbated by COVID, pandemic, health concerns, etc. So yeah, I guess like the point of this video is a bunch of rich people ripped off the taxpayers, and barely anything's ever going to come of it, especially proportionally to when, you know, people, working class people, might be caught with like not doing their taxes right or something. So yeah, again, socialism for the rich, rugged individualism for the poor. In America, water is wet.